Hello, Talking Hands here once again, and it is time to work on my January spread for my 2022 bullet journal. As you can see, I have my journal. I have a sticker, I have some markers, and I have 3 pens. Let's go over really quick what the supplies are. This is my Lectrum 1917 bullet journal. In gray. And then for markers, I have this stamp marker. Let me show it the right way up for you. From American Crafters brand stamp marker. It stays wet on stamps. I don't use stamps right now, but it does have a brush tip on one end and a bullet nib on the other. And this is in the shade 26218 Grapefruit. And that's a nice light, a warm light pink. Then I have from Tombow, I have the double tipped brush pen and bullet nib in N75, and this is a light gray. It's kind of a cool gray, but it is a light gray. And then finally I have from Artist Loft, I have their watercolor dual tip marker. It has a brush tip, and then this side is, yes, a bullet nib as well. Make sure the caps are on well. And this is a watercolor marker, and it is in shade 100 dark red. So this month's colors theme is going to be a dark red. I'm going for like garnets because that's the birthstone of January. And then a gradation with some pink and gray. And then for the pens, I went out and bought myself some new pens because my old ones were getting worn out. So this is the Pigma Micron 08. That's a nice thick line. And then I have a medium line now in the Pigma Micron 05. And these are all in black liners. And then I have the Pigma Micron 02. And this one, you can see the writing on it. It's so great. And then I went through my sticker collection and found something that I thought looked really nice. It is a little bit big for, I want to put it here in the front, and it's a little bit big. So you may be able to see, I've actually used an X-Acto knife and cut it here and there to kind of edit it down a little bit. So we're just going to stick this in the front. And I like to stick stickers on my bullet journal to kind of help highlight the year in stickers, so to speak. So this is my first month sticker. I love that. We got a skull and like a bee or butterfly, moth maybe. It's a moth with like butterfly bee stripes. I don't know where I got this. I probably got it from a Brat box, but it is really gorgeous in all these colors. I just love the energy in this. And then because I trimmed it down, I now have these 2 pieces that are left over. Actually 3 because, well, no, I didn't cut all the way. So just 2 pieces, 1 strip here and 1 strip here, which would make really great decoration later in the journal. Because I do want to use up some washi tapes and some stickers and things throughout the journal. But this month, we're not going to do that. We're just going to stick to pens, except for the cover. And each month, like I said, I will add a new sticker to the cover, either the front or the back, depending on the size of the sticker and where there's room. And when the year is over, I'll have this year of stickers covering my bullet journal, and it'll be beautiful, in my opinion anyway. So let's go ahead, pull our elastic. If you haven't seen my setup for 2022, go ahead and watch that. You'll see here I have my year of the word of the year. Wow. Year of the word. Wow, that's a new one. The word of the year, which is live, and then I have some quotes that have live in it. But here is my spread for January. I went back and forth. I wanted to do a picture, I wanted to do something else, and I just couldn't decide on anything. So I just penciled in some words for the cover page. And it says now is the time, which you can probably see. But since I'm going to be going over this with my markers right away, I'm going to go ahead and erase the pencil lines. But you'll still be able to see the writing once you erase the pencil lines. Because I kind of tried to draw them to a uniform size throughout. But this way, by erasing them first, I will be able to erase them. If you go over them with marker before erasing them, the pencil lines will never come out. Like, there's something about the marker that just sets the pencil in place. And I've made that mistake before. You can probably barely see it, but it is still very lightly there. If you've ever written something and erased it, you know, it still leaves a little bit of a mark. So that's what we're doing here. And then you can see I have in the corners, I have some lines. That's because this year for my tabs, because I like to do sort of a color-coded tab so that when you're looking at the side of the bullet journal, you can see the different, how much each month is, the different colors for each month. And last year I kind of did it as a tab going down. This year I'm going to do the corners. I figured that sounds like fun, and I did 3 stripes because I'm going to do all 3 colors this month. Alright, so we're going to start with my, we're going to do the brush tip with my dark red, and I'm just going to go over those pencil lines just nice and smooth and make it pretty. Okay, so there it is. Now is the time. Now I'm going to go back with my light gray and give little bits of shadows. Marking to the right and bottom of each of the lines in the letters. Just kind of give it a little bit of a shadow appearance. This is completely optional. You can do whatever you want, but I thought since this is pretty simple, try and make it look a little bit fancier. But I'm not very good at doing these. I just try my best. And sometimes that's all you can do is try your best. So if things aren't perfect, that's okay. Be happy. That totally, see, that was not what I wanted. Oh well, that one has extra lines. And my gray is turning a little bit pink because I am dragging it over the red in some places on accident. That's okay. I can always go on another page and clean it out. Like I can flip to the very back of the book and be like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna get the red and pink off my gray. It's fine. And then flip back. And then we're going to take our 08 and I'm just going to go on the other side. I don't know if this is the best idea, but it sounded good at the time. So we're going to see how it looks, and if I hate it, well, then I will know not to do it in the future. But you never know until you try, right? So I'm just going the opposite of everywhere that I did the other lines, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. I think you know what I'm saying. Now the gray one, I didn't actually, do anything with it. So what we're going to do with that is I'm just going to outline the whole thing. Because I can. Okay, it's a thing. It works. So this is my title page for January. Now is the time. I'm going to go ahead and color in my tab. Beautiful. And then we'll do the pink. And the gray. And just like that, my cover page is done. Now is the time, so I know that it's time to move on to the inner. So on this side, we're going to have a calendar, and it's a grid calendar, so I have room to write in all my appointments. Up here we have a space for my Rover and Etsy income tracking, and then down here I'm going to start something new with a productivity tracker. Well, let's go ahead and fill in this calendar. I'm going to start by outlining the whole thing with my 08, and then we'll go in with some smaller pens to do the details. I like to freehand mine, but if you want and you prefer a perfect straight line, you can go ahead and use the straight edge to help you draw those lines. The pencil grid, the grid is there, and I have the pencil lines, and I don't care if they're a little wobbly, so I'm going to go ahead and do it by hand and enjoy this little clip. Okay, so the grid, like I said, I did in my 08, and then for the days of the week, I used my 05, and then for the numbers, the dates, I used a 02. Each of my grid squares are 4 by 4 spaces, and then one line for the days of the week. And then I could have left this blank and had space in there, but I didn't, so that's fine. You do it however you want to do it, and I already have a couple dates written in pencil. I will write them in pen later, but I like to put things on my in pencil first, just in case, if it's like an appointment, in case the appointment gets canceled, I don't have to cross it out. I can just erase it, and then once the appointment is done, I'll pen it in, or such. Let's go ahead and draw in our month. I always like to call it the title, because it's kind of like the title. It's just telling us, hey, this is January, and it's 2022. I probably won't keep the 2022 in every month, but I don't know. So far, I liked it. And I just used script, nothing fancy. That is my handwriting. And then we'll color in our tab. And it's okay if I go over the edges. I'm not really fussed about it. You'll probably learn from me that I don't care if things are perfect. I think things are better when they're not perfect. Okay, so that is my spread. I do it this way, like I said, so I can write in appointments. You can do it differently if that works better for you. In the past, I've just had a column and then lines for the dates, whatever works for you. Over here, I have my income trackers. And for me, that is mainly Etsy and Rover. So I'm just writing in script those titles. Always make sure your pens are completely closed. These ones are a little bit sticky because they're brand new. And then I'm just going to box these in. Give it sort of a title. And then I'm going to bring it up so you can see. But if you look closely, you can see the pencil lines where I pre-drew it. Now, if I were to color that in right now with a marker, those pencil lines would stay there permanently and I wouldn't be able to erase them. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those lines so I can clean it up a little bit, make it look prettier. Same over here. Because the pencil lines are nice for a guide, but once you're done, you don't really need them anymore. I'll do my calendar later. But then I think we're going to just color these in, and we're going to go with pink. Actually, we're going to do Etsy in pink. I do have an Etsy store where I sell t-shirts and friendship bracelets and art. There we go. And then while we're here, color our tab. So how are you planning for the new year? And do you want to share with me what your bullet journal is looking like? If you keep a bullet journal, I know some people who watch this don't have bullet journals. Are you inspired to start one? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Alright, so this half I left blank because this is where I'm going to write in all my bookings for Rover and then how much I expect to earn from them, and then the appointments will actually be on the calendar over here. And then once that's all tallied up, at the end of the month, I will come back into my yearly spread, a sneak peek if you haven't seen it, and I will put in my monthly incomes on this page for each of my categories. And if I have any other income besides that, I can squeeze it in here. But then at the bottom of the page, I thought I would try a productivity tracker, just to kind of give me an idea of how productive I am. Not to guilt me into being more productive, but just sort of a way of seeing what things look like how often I'm productive, if there's a pattern to my productivity. Yeah. And I realize I am writing this very large compared to what I penciled it in. But I think I like that, and I hope I spelled productivity correctly. It's a little bit messy. I'm going to erase it since it doesn't line up with the pencil lines. Also, sometimes you might want to wait a little bit longer because I just smudged some of the ink that was still wet. And I'm going to go in with my Micron 05. And basically this is just another calendar setup. So let me fill this in and then I'll show you how I plan on using it. Alright, so this is basically like a general habit tracker. So days where I do 0 tasks, like if I just veg all day and watch YouTube or watch movies, you know, whether I'm feeling sick or just non-productive, those days will be in light gray. So I will just make a box over the day and color in that day that color. And then days where I get 1 to 2 things done, where I'm like semi-productive, will be pink. And then days that I'm really productive and get a lot of done will be in red. And this way I'll get the chance to see like how many times am I really productive, how many times am I not productive at all. And like I said, it's not to guilt me into being more productive, it's just to help me keep track of how productive I am and see if there's any pattern to, like, if I'm really productive at the beginning of the month, or if I'm really productive at the middle of the month, or if, say, it's my period and I'm less productive, you know, those kind of things. And this way I can have it at a glance, and each day will have a color on it at the end of the month, and then we'll see what it looks like. I may change the format of the calendar, but since this is the first month I'm doing this, we're going to play and see, and like I said, as it progresses, like next month, it might look slightly different. And that's okay. That's what all this is about, is just learning what works for you and how to make it better work for you. And learning what doesn't work for you. Like, I don't do habit trackers because I don't feel the need. I mean, I did them for a long time, but I'd forget to record things. So this hopefully just one thing to keep track of. And by tasks, I mean things like doing dishes, doing laundry, making YouTube videos, going to the store, anything that is not nothing. Like anything that is a productive task is something I will count. So most days I'm hoping will be 3 or more, but we'll see. And then that's all the pre-setup. The rest of this is weekly spreads. And I like to keep my weekly spreads pretty simple. Go ahead and start penning it in for you. I have some boxes at the bottom that are for my writing down my appointments and my to-dos. And then the rest of the space I like to leave open for journaling. So I don't do a lot of embellishments in my bullet journal, but sometimes I do. Probably will do more next month, maybe the month after, in the future. But this month I wanted things to be nice and simple. I'm pretty minimalist when it comes to my bullet journal. And actually I'm pretty minimalist in a lot of places in my life, but not completely. So I just have these boxes down at the bottom. They are 4 spaces high and 5 spaces wide. And there's 7 down there for the 7 days of the week. I put it down at the bottom this way. It's easy to see, but it's also out of the way because, like I said, I like to write journaling for each day. And this way I have the freedom to write as much as I want without having to worry about running out of space. And then I'm just writing in the days of the week in cursive or script, however you want to call it, and then writing the date next to each one. Now because this month the first starts on a Saturday and my calendars go Sunday through Saturday, I have opted to leave the first off my calendar just because it's an odd day. Some months I will include it in my previous month's spread. Just depends on how it is. And that's that. Easy peasy. And then for color embellishment, I might add something down here at the bottom if I don't end up writing down there, which I most likely won't. But then I'm just going to color my corners, and that is it, and then repeat as necessary for each week of the month. If you guys have any questions about bullet journaling, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions for me, that's great as well. I was thinking of doing a a Q&A video coming up for New Year's, but I didn't really think about it ahead of time, and so I didn't have a chance to ask you guys to ask me questions. So I have something else planned instead. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I do read all the comments and respond. Or reply. However you want to look at it. If they were, So that's that. And then I could go back and let's do the days of the week let's do them in red. And instead of doing them all individually, I'm just drawing a line through them all. It is a little bit dark. Maybe next week I'll do it in pink. I do have it planned out the same exact layout for next week and the week after. I have the whole month actually. Nope, I don't have the whole month. I have the 22nd done already, pre-done. But that is my setup for January. It's pretty simple, pretty minimalist, like I said. So little flip through, we have my cover page. Now is the time is the theme for this month. Then I have my calendar to keep track of all my dates and appointments. Didn't do anything fancy with this, so we're just gonna embellish it. We're just gonna underline it. It's fine. It's fine. My underline actually kind of went through it a little bit. That's okay. So I have my calendar over here for my appointments, a space to track my incomes and appointments, my productivity tracker, and then my weekly spreads. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my content, including makeup panning and makeup hauls, more bullet journaling, monthly photo montages, as well as random arts and crafts, please hit the subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a video. And until I see you in my next video, take care, be good to yourself, and have a happy new year. Bye!